with positive energy.
Chilly. You've got pork rinds all over
My face?
you. Your leg covered.
Hey guys.
Pork rind.
Hey, it's your best boxing friends. I'm Kelsey, and I'm covered in pork rinds. And this is Rachel, and we're here to talk. I want to talk, Rachel, about this. Here's why Canelo Alvarez is gonna lose. Okay, because he's gonna lose, right, Rachel?
Doom, doom, doom.
Doom, doom, doom. But just pretend like we put sound effects here. Doom, doom, doom. Don't you think he's gonna lose?
Saturday? I don't know about that.
Well, I didn't say he was gonna lose on Saturday.
Unlikely, but.
I just said he's gonna lose, right? Because Canelo Alvarez is the type of fighter who fights the best.
Yeah, so we were talking earlier about how Canelo, he's always fighting top competition.
Yes.
And as boxing fans, you know, we have seen lots of guys who, as soon as they reach a certain level in boxing, they start taking some easy fights. And maybe some fights where you're like, who's that guy?
Yeah, and not just one, but like a whole trek of them. So a good example would be what's happened in the heavyweight division. Love Tyson Fury, right? Tyson Fury, great story, tremendous comeback from the brink of depression, blah, blah, blah. Gets up against Deontay Wilder, and then he signs a $100 million deal with ESPN because he's like, I'm not going to fight Wilder again next. I'm not fighting Anthony Joshua next. I'm going to fight, who's he fighting? Tom Schwartz, and then a slew of other less notable, less dangerous opponents for a lot of money.
Yeah.
Can't knock the guy for it, but can give credit to Canelo Alvarez, who...
For fighting the best. I mean, not only did he fight Golovkin when it was... The fight needed to happen, right? Like, we didn't have to wait a decade for the fight.
Yeah.
Or, and then, not only that, then he fought him again. He could have just said no to the rematch.
And that wasn't, like, that's like the fifth time that Canelo has done this. He fought Erislandy Lara when nobody wanted to fight Erislandy Lara. He fought
Floyd Mayweather,
and Canelo was only 9 years old, guys. He was 9. Okay, he wasn't 9, but he was 23 years old when they fought. That's pretty ridiculous.
He was really young, and it's just crazy. So he's had the one, like, fight where and that was his debut on DAZN. But that was more because, like...
He fought Rocky Fielding, which was a step-down fight in competition, but he was stepping up in weight. He was fighting a guy who was legitimately ranked in the top 10 among 168 fighters. I think that's perfectly reasonable, and he did it so that he could stay on DAZN and fighting. You know, he didn't have to train, he didn't have to lose the weight for that fight, and it was a significant fight. Still a significant fight.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, I just appreciate being able to witness Canelo, like, as a fan. Yeah, so I've got to witness pretty much, like, his whole professional career, and it's just, I'm really grateful for it, to be able to see a guy like this who takes on fighters. And we've said this in a previous video, how I was at a press conference, or we were at a press conference, but, like, I remember hearing Oscar De La Hoya say, you know, like, Canelo, he takes the top fights. I can't do an Oscar voice, but, like, you know how Oscar talks. He has, like, that accent. It's very, like, specific. Like, I don't know where it's from, but I've heard, like, one other person with that accent, and it's very specific. But yeah, and he's like, he demands this. He takes the top fighters, and that's something you might hear a lot of promoters say, but in this case, it was like, it's the truth. Like, this is what Canelo does, and for whatever reason, he's able to convince the team around him
he tells
to continue to let him do this.
Tells the promoters, managers, I want to fight this guy.
Yeah.
And at case in point, he's fighting Danny Jacobs on May 4th. That's a huge fight. Danny Jacobs is a legitimately good middleweight. A very difficult middleweight. Middleweight, a lot of people out there think, beat Gennady Golovkin before Alvarez fought him. A guy who's taller than Alvarez, is a really good boxer, is really fast, is really skilled. A guy who came back from cancer. I mean, this guy is legitimately a tough out. And Kellen's like, I'll fight him next. And it looks like, potentially, I'll fight Gennady Golovkin the third time. That's cool. You know, and then look, perhaps Demetrius on Andrade in the near future. I used to call him Andrade because we live in Texas, and it's... Anyway, and Ronnie shows us like, it's Andrade. And I was like, oh, my bad, I've been calling him Andrade the whole time.
So, Kelsey, you said Canelo is going to lose. Why are you saying that?
Canelo Alvarez is going to lose. Maybe not on Saturday against Danny Jacobs, although that could happen. I mean, Jacobs is a live dog. But Canelo Alvarez is going to lose because he consistently takes the toughest out. He goes out and fights the best fights. I've already seen him talking about, he's already moved up to 168. There's big fights for him there, potentially against Callum Smith will be a good opponent. But he's already talking about moving up to light heavyweight. Can you imagine Canelo Alvarez versus, I don't know, Sergey Kovalev? I don't even know. I can't even compute that in my brain. I know that Canelo Alvarez is going to lose, and I think that's a good thing because Canelo Alvarez is going to continually push himself until he moves up too high in weight at least. He's going to keep moving up weight until he loses to see how good, how great he can be. We need more of that in boxing. It's how it used to be in the old days. It's why guys like Sugar Ray Robinson tried to move up to fight a light heavyweight and almost pulled it off, but didn't quite. We need more of that in boxing, and I think that Canelo
he's already done this in his career because that's what he did when he fought Floyd Mayweather. Nobody was like, Canelo has to fight Floyd Mayweather.
Nobody really thought
Nobody was like, it was time for you to fight
everybody was like, it's way too soon. And it turned out way too soon. But I'm glad he got that out of the way because...
Yeah, I remember being happy because, like, we didn't have that stupid 0 on his record that was going to, like, basically just, like, enslave him to his record and hold him to that instead of being the best that he can be. Oh. Now he's free to be the best that he can be because he's already lost. And likely he's going to lose again because people that push themselves, that's what happens. And if you're going to be great, failure is a part of that.
Yeah. And, you know, Canelo Alvarez is going to lose. It's good for him to lose, but it's not good for you to lose. And you lose by not commenting, and subscribing. In fact, when you do those things, you're guaranteed to win. Here's why you win. We have both Rachel McCarson, the smartest, prettiest, and the best, and Kelsey McCarson, a person.
What the...
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,